everyone. Welcome back on Igniting Minds, the Power of Knowledge. And today's episode is very special. Guess why? Our guest today is not only handling a big responsibility at University of New Haven, but also she has made a significant impact on the student's life. Let's welcome Dr. Ophelie Rowe-Allen, a Dean of Student and Vice President of Student Affairs. She is a beacon of inspiration, and her passion for nurturing equity, diversity, and inclusion takes a center stage. A visionary leader and published author, Dr. Rowe-Allen contributions have profoundly shaped a landscape of higher education. Today, she joins us to share her invaluable insights and forward-thinking approaches for fostering student success. Let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Ophelie Rowe-Allen, a true luminary in the field of academia. Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Rowe-Allen. It was way long forward, like I was waiting for this moment to have the conversation with you. So thank you so much for your precious time. And let's start this conversation with a little bit about your background, what you have done before, and to people who are not knowing you properly. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. Very exciting. Finally, the day has come, right, for us to do this. But I am, so a little bit about my background. I was born in Jamaica. I am a trained teacher from Jamaica. And when I came here, I came to college because my sister told me that I didn't want to be a teacher, which is true. Didn't want to be in the classroom, but I only spent probably a year or so in the classroom. Then I went to Turks and Caicos and also spent another year there teaching. And then my sister called me one day and said, well, you need to go back to college. So I said, okay. And in Jamaica, you finish college like high school at 16. So by 19,
no.
you would be out of college if you go straight from there.
Yeah.
I came here and I came to.
So how did you choose US?
Well, I guess everybody knew that you come to the US or you can go to England, right? But I didn't go there. So what I did, I came here instead, and also because while I was in college in Jamaica, Central Connecticut State University was also at the college during summer. So I usually take classes with them. So I had some experience with the US system, what the education system is like. So when I came here, I went to Miami and I went to university there, small Catholic university. I didn't want to go to a big university. That's why I didn't go to Central State Connecticut University because it was too big for me. And from there, my bachelor's was in psychology. My master's was in mental health counseling.
Wow.
Right? And so how I got into my position now is because of my professors, right? My professors were very influential in my life. They were the ones that were telling me that I am confident and I can do it. And I usually tell them that I have fears. And they're like, no, you don't. You can do this. And so they really motivated me a lot. So in my master's, when I was doing my master's, they told me that they will be choosing my practicum site, my internship site. Normally students do choose their internship site, but they decided that they're going to choose it for me. And so what they did, they sent me to a college counseling site.
Okay.
Not sure if I wanted to work with college students, but what they have seen in me was what I haven't seen in myself. They recognized that I was good with peer mentoring, right? Okay. Coaching others, helping them. And because while I was at the institution, they see that many students were coming to me, right? And I was a peer leader, in college. I was a resident assistant. I was part of the honors program. And so I held a lot of leadership positions. I was a research assistant while I was there. And so they have seen in me what my potential is, what my skills were, my competencies, what I was demonstrating was something they think that I could have thrived at that counseling center. Okay. And that counseling center was a wake-up call for me, right? It really helped me decide whether or not I wanted to be in that kind of work, right? In mental health work. And so I remember I broke down one day and I said, I can't do this because I'm coming home with the students' problems.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to go back the next morning. And this is not good for me.
Yeah.
And Dr. Ruben just tapped me on the shoulder and said, that's the right thing. You are experiencing what you need to experience in order for you to grow.
Uh-huh.
And so I went back and I enjoyed it. And the university that I was working there at that time also gave me a job in residence life.
Okay.
And so that's how it all started with me being in student affairs.
So what made you to stuck with University of New Haven specifically?
Well, I was in another university down the street, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was time for me to move up, right? I was at my peak at that university.
Mm-hmm.
There was, I wanted to do more.
Okay.
Right? And I wanted to be in a higher leadership position. So when this came, right, in January of 2020, when I saw this job opening, then I decided to apply for it. I didn't want to be a dean of student, but then I recognized that if I do it, I may be able to make a change, right, in how people view, or students actually view, the dean of students office.
Mm-hmm.
Students view the dean of students office as code of conduct.
Okay.
Right? If you're in trouble, that's where you go.
Mm-hmm.
What I wanted it to be is a place of student support. That anything students want, they're able to come to us, we're able to work with them and support them and allow them, giving them the opportunity to thrive, right? By providing the key resources for them.
That's amazing. And I must say that a lot of students, they come forward and they talk about you. And they are getting so much from by just like a small talk, they are getting so much motivation, so much like way forward.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really tremendous, I think, like feedback I'm getting from other students. Let's talk about more on the new initiative. You have been in the quite good number of years, and you understand the university pretty well, each community. So if I talk about what are the new initiative you are working on, and or you have worked which is very close to your heart.
Well, it's not really new initiatives that I'm working on. I've been here now for 4 years, going on 5 years. But some of the things that I think is important to me and dear to my heart, it's students' wellness, right? And mentoring students to be their best selves, right? And how to go about doing that, because wellness sometimes is so commercialized now.
Yeah, yes.
That they, folks don't want to feel that they're not well sometimes, right? And when I said not well, it's like, maybe they have a test, they didn't do well. And so because they didn't do well on it, right, they think that they take it so hard, right?
Yeah.
And they don't want to feel that discomfort of failing, right? And sometimes failure is okay, right? Failure should be in your vocabulary, right? Because there are sometimes we will not be able to reach the peak we want to reach, right? The grade that we want to get, right? And that one time it happened, it's what you do with the failure afterwards.
Yeah. At that moment when you are feeling down, what you are doing.
Right. Who do I think about, right? Yeah. What are things that I should be doing? One, did I talk to my professor, right? I talked to the faculty members, what went wrong, right? Have I talked to my friends, right? To see if you may have friends in the classroom, to see what went wrong. Am I able to have the courage to go up and talk to them and say, said I fail? How did you do in the test? Tell me, where did I go wrong? Would you be able to help me? Right? If I know that I'm not doing well, do I go to tutoring? Right? Do I be brave to say, I need to get tutoring next time because I know I can be better, right? I know I can do this. Sometimes we may just have, because of certain circumstances at that time surrounding that week, that day, something happened and cause you not to concentrate. So how can you not be too hard on yourself, right? However, we don't want it to continue though. We don't want the failure to continue. We want to make sure that they can academically thrive. So what are the resources that you're providing for them? How can we also let them know that it is okay, right? Because college is all about learning.
Yes.
Right? And you will get better, but you also have to put in the effort, right? And to know sometimes when we fail, that is okay.
And I think like that is something, a proof of that you are trying something new.
Right.
You are coming out of your comfort zone and trying, and that's how like failure is coming on your way.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
If you are not failing, then you are not going to succeed. So failure will come for sure. So how do you identify, like, it's a diversified college, like
Mhm,
where you're
mhm,
gonna
mhm,
get a lot of diversity, different students from
mhm,
worldwide. How do you identify or like see that, okay, these kind of students are not doing well, and
mhm,
mental health is one of the challenge
mhm,
we
mhm.
every student, like most of the students are facing. It's a comfort zone, it's not actually comfort zone where like you have to talk to people. So how do you identify that, okay, you have to focus on these kind of students, this community, because they are not like feeling well, they need extra hand or probably like support.
Absolutely. One of the communities that I can talk about very well is our international students,
Yeah, of course,
right?
yes.
And I come from a country too where you don't want to talk about mental health, right? You don't want to say, I'm feeling depressed, right? Because it's not something that they're used to, right? It's taboo to talk about that. And so it's how do we educate those students?
Yeah.
Right? To let them know it is okay to ask for help because there are times where we will not be feeling well in our minds, in our body, right? In our spirit. And what are the resources, again, do we have that we can provide for these students? But how do we create conditions so that they can feel a sense of belonging, feel part of the community, to know that the resources are there? I can reach out because sometimes we have doubt. Sometimes we judge ourselves that I don't want to go there because they may talk bad about me. They may judge me wrongfully, right? Or I don't want anyone to know because I'm supposed to be this perfect student, right?
Correct.
And none of us are perfect, right? So that is one set of population that I know for sure when it comes down to mental health and what we have to continue to do better because they're coming in with certain cultures and it's very hard to unlearn our culture, right?
Correct.
Our culture is our way of life.
Yes.
Right? That's what we're used to. And those are our culture is what forms our values and our belief systems, right? So how do we unlearn certain things like asking for help?
Yeah.
Right? So
Get in
important
touch
to ask
with
for
this people.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. You mentioned about the belongingness. For each and every student, it's very important. The sense of belongingness wherever they spend a time, especially university, they have to spend 2-3 years here. So, as a University of New Haven, what are the new initiative or the engagements we are creating for a student where they get that kind of belongingness?
Absolutely. And sense of belonging is where the university creates the condition.
Correct.
The students have to define it for themselves, right? And how and what it looks like for them and how it feels, right? How it feels for them. So one of the most important things that we have been doing is let me go back to our international students is what are the kind of programs that we're putting on, right? We put on a lot of programs that connect to their culture. We have Holy not too long ago, right?
Yeah.
We have the International Festival that we put on. But also, we also look at their academic trajectory and what is it that they want to be involved in. We have the Graduate Showcase, right? For them to show off some of the work that they are doing, right? In the sciences, in the math, in data analytics, all of these things. So when we create things like this, when we create these conditions like this is where students will lean in, right? Lean into these opportunities to say, I can do this, right? I want to be part of this because it makes me feel good too, right? It makes me feel that somebody cares about me, somebody's connecting my interests, right?
Yeah.
Right? And connecting with others. I have peers that I'll able to see there, or also just friends, right? Or someone that just looks like me, right? And I feel good just knowing that somebody that looks like me is there. But also we create other opportunities where you have the recognized organizations, right? Where students can feel that they can belong to these different groups because we feel good when we're part of a membership group.
Yeah.
Right? And so that is one of the number one things, right? Because somebody in there looks like me, right? Have probably the same interests as me, right? And so because I'm there, right, I will feel this sense of belonging. I feel like I will not be judged, right? And that may be the first step, right, for them in feeling safe on this campus.
Feeling safe.
Right.
That is really actually what do you say, like heavy word, I would say, or a lot of students have that concern that am I gonna be safe, and it's like the country where like absolutely a new set of people. So feeling safe belongingness. These are the something which student looking forward for it.
Absolutely.
And I think we are trying to provide as much as we can. And so let's talk about little bit more on the challenge per se. Now, as a dean of this university, first I would like to know how your day looks like, because a lot of students, they are sitting out there and they are just wondering, okay, what our dean do on a daily basis, like on a regular, how the day looks like. And you have been busy, like we see you are doing multiple, but not knowing the exactly what exactly you do for the
Absolutely. What my day is like, a day in the life of a dean. So most of the times, especially, it depends on the time in the semester.
Okay.
So even for this time of the year now, right? This time of the semester, it's a lot of student meetings, right? Because the students are ready to go. What are some of the academic, social problems that they are concerned? I would say concerns that they may have that they want to bring forth. And so this is where I work with the academic affairs, right? And we try to resolve some of the concerns that students have. So a lot of student meetings. We do have crisis. So I deal with crisis all the time. So sometimes I'll be here and then I have to go because I get a phone call or something, right?
Yeah.
And also the other thing is I attend student programs, which is the best part of my job.
Okay.
Right? I love to attend a student program. So sometimes it may be late, right? Late at night, I'm here on campus. Like for the month of April, I work every weekend, right? Because there were either open houses for high school students coming on campus, accepted student day for our prospective students, right? And then I get to talk to them, right? I get to see them. I'm still getting, students who come up to me. Even last night, I had the Caribbean Student Association, right, over my house. So I cooked them dinner.
Wow.
Yes. And so while they were there, they started to reminisce and they started to tell me that my mom spoke to you 2 years ago at orientation. Don't remember, but they did, right? And so there's a number of them that said, yes, my mom reminded me, you must keep in touch with the dean. And so that was nice to hear. Last week, a student came to me with a picture. 2 years ago, my mom took a picture of you while I was at orientation and she wants me to show you to remind you. Right, of who she is because she wants to talk to you.
Okay.
Right? So those are the different types of things that happen, during the day. Plus there are other meetings that I do a lot of meetings with other campus partners, right? Because there's always a lot of partnership talking about, and collaboration, talking about the student. The student is at the center of everything for me.
Correct.
All right.
Now we are talking about the collaboration. I would like to ask, what are the collaboration with the industry? Now, university is absolutely very different, and if you talk about the industry, like which is like actually place of work, have somewhere like the gap, if you see. So the skill set and whatever we are learning. So how we are doing the collaboration with knowing the industry, the requirement, market requirement, and trying to set up like or arrange our curriculum activity, where like we can match both the places.
Absolutely. I'll just speak briefly from the academic side, where we do have our faculty members have worked in the field before.
Yeah, exactly.
So they have understanding of what it's like, right, being in the classroom, but also what are the experiences that students need to have as they go out. But we do have our career development office. And that office works directly with employers, right?
Okay.
And so they are the ones that is looking at what are the essential skills, right? Our competencies that students need to have, right? The transferable skills from this university. What are the skills that they're demonstrating, right, while they're here, whether it's in the classroom or outside of the classroom, that employers need, right? And that's why we encourage all students to go to the Career Development Center, right? And to make sure that they get the services and use the resources that are there for them, because we really have competent staff members who are there to help them, whether it's resume writing, editing their cover letter, but also looking for internships or jobs. We have Handshake and we have Interest Right for international students. Explore those, right? And that will help a lot.
Okay. So don't forget to meet and explore Career Development Center if you're coming University of New Haven.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about a little bit on the university challenge. Now,
Mm-hmm.
university has a really good number of community and a lot of like activities. If I talk about the university challenge, which are those and how we are handling that?
University challenges. One, getting the students to use the resources that we have, right?
Okay.
That is important to help them in their academic journey.
Uh-huh.
But the challenge is that we want to make sure that we don't leave any students behind.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want students to fall through the cracks, and that can be hard when we have a lot of students, right,
Mm-hmm.
on campus. So that is one of our challenges, that we work hard every day to make sure that no students are left behind, right? And the other thing is just to make sure that students are taking care of their mental health.
Okay.
All right.
And how we are telling, are we doing some sort of different kind of events or engagements in the university? Because every semester has a new community, new students, right? So how we are like trying to, as you are sitting in this position,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of like you need to handle the activities, and so how you are trying to track each and every activities being in this position, because you can't get into the groundwork, right?
Exactly.
You have to manage the people, you have to say them that okay, these are the strategy we are making it, but how do you make sure that okay, this is happening and this is
Absolutely.
happening as per you are looking? So how do you manage your team?
Good. One of the things, we do have a strategic plan, right?
Okay.
We have strategic priorities.
Mhm.
What is it that we want for our students, right? Because we want to make sure that students have a distinctive, transformative, and exceptional
Mhm.
experience here on campus,
Mhm.
inside and outside of the classroom.
Okay.
We want to make sure that they get good jobs when
Okay.
they leave the university,
Okay.
right? So how are we preparing them,
Hmm.
right? What are the skill sets that they have? How are they demonstrating it,
Mhm.
right? So what we do is I have competent staff, right?
Mhm.
We have different departments,
Mhm.
but we make sure we assess what
Mhm.
we're doing
Mhm.
each semester,
Okay.
right? And we send out a student experience survey every
Mhm.
November,
Mhm.
and that's where we get information from too. How are we doing,
Okay.
right? How are students feeling? What's their satisfaction in certain areas?
Correct.
And so that's where the information comes in for us. We also have what we call quick polls,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Where you heard of Navigate, you all know,
Yeah,
right? You
yes.
all know Navigate. That is where students will go in and they can fill out a survey,
Mhm.
right? Short, just to tell us how they're feeling, right? And who is it that they want to talk to,
Okay.
right? So the resources are there, the touch points are there for our students to make sure that if anything goes wrong, they don't. In Navigate, they can raise a hand,
Mhm.
right, to say, I need help, right? And we're able to get that instantly,
Okay.
right? Where we can reach out, right? We have various positions on campus that specifically in their job description that says student support,
Okay.
right?
So since like you mentioned about the students, so do you have like any kind of success story where like you actually came across that certain student facing issue or something, and then they did something and you have like now you see them like which is extremely in a different position? So would you like to share some sort of?
Well, I have many of them,
Must
many
be.
stories, and you will. The proudest moment will be with seeing them walking across the stage in the next week. All right,
Uh-huh.
because of what they go through. Right, students do go through difficulties at times, right, and it's whether it is that they may be failing,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to catch them at certain point, and we realize that it's happening, and they feel that they couldn't get back on track, right, and we were able to get them back on track.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Mhm.
that are some of their proudest moments, because they were afraid that they're going to fail, right? And when they work with us,
Mm-hmm.
if they must have the desire, they must have the grit,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that is our students, right? Grit and resilience and so on, that you all have, right? That shows us that you can do it. There may be obstacles that you may be having, but if you ask for help, and for those students who have asked for help, we can see how much they have triumphed. And some of them will be graduating in the next few weeks.
Exactly. And that's the beautiful moment, sitting, from far and seeing them. They are walking, having their degree, cheering up,
Proud
along
moment,
with their
yes.
like family. So it's
Yes.
it's tremendous like experience must be for
Absolutely.
you. Now let's the industry is driving and moving towards technology side of it. I would like to know, on your daily basis, like, or to handling student or to manage your team, what kind of technologies or tech you are using on your daily curriculum activities?
Oh, absolutely. We use a lot of technology,
Mhm.
right? From our accessibility office, in order for students to make sure that they can use the resources available to them.
Okay.
We do text. Sometimes if I can't get students by email, right?
Okay. Uh-huh.
We text them. But there are various kind of technology in higher education
Correct.
that we use to make it more seamless
Mhm.
for the student. So every office you may go into, they may have some form, right, of technology services that helps them to move the needle faster, right, in reaching students, in helping students to make sure that they're okay, from counseling and psychological services to Office of Residence Life to make sure housing goes well, right? So all around the campus, any office you go into, technology is a big deal for us.
Correct. And every department now, it's the time like where every department, it's a requirement now, like to adapt new technologies and put some sort of like budget to buy some new software and like teach student, even though like to push them and learn something and match the market, like what is the requirement they have, right?
Absolutely. But there are different things that we have here for student, right? For student safety, right? We have it for to make sure when it comes down to them communicating with faculty member that we have it. But overall, we want to make sure that we have technology that makes us run more efficiently, right? To do things much faster, right? No longer are the days where we had to print out papers and tell students to come and sign. It's hard to find them, right? We have stacks of paper. If you notice, you go into offices now, you don't see filing cabinets anymore, right? Because they're not storing anything, right? You're not printing out papers to do that anymore. So everywhere you go to make the services offered to students more efficiently, we do have various technology.
Okay. Now tell me about the best part of your work, which makes you feel like really engaging, motivating, and inspiring to work on a daily basis. So what makes you
That
feel
is the coaching, the mentoring of students.
okay.
Right? So being part of student development and for them to have transformative experiences is one of the things that I invest in most.
Okay.
All right. And sometimes it may not be easy for them, right? But they are at an institution for learning. And so how they come in, right, should be different when they're going out, right? Which means that they should see that the experience they have is distinctive. It's an exceptional one. When you talk about student formation, they can see the changes that happen in terms of their diversity of thought, right? It also increase. They see where they are able to have the grit and the resilience. They understand what their values are, right? They understand what is the investment on return for the education that they receive here. What is it that they want? So doing the coaching and the mentoring, students, that is what is important to me, and that's what makes me smile every day. Come to work.
That's wonderful. Now let's jump into the next round of podcast, which is more on catching the words. It's kind of rapid fire where I'm gonna say one word, and you have to, in the next second, like, you have to say the word, okay, whatever comes in your head. So let's start with initiative.
Priorities.
Belongingness.
Inclusivity.
Partnership.
Collaboration.
Mentorship.
Oh my God. Transformative.
Challenges.
Mm, Challenges is bravery,
Resilience,
grit,
development,
development. I would say intentionality,
okay, community,
community togetherness,
University of New Haven.
a place of inclusivity and belonging.
Wow, that's really nice. Now I would like you to give a piece of advice, probably two. One is piece of advice 20-year-old of you. One is that, and then probably like to student who are looking forward or prospective students who wants to join University of New Haven. So let's start with your young you.
My 20-year-old self, what would I say to
Yeah.
them? To not be afraid, take the first step. You don't have to see the entire staircase, right? Don't let fear prevent you from achieving your dreams. So go for it. So whatever you dream of, you can do it.
Okay, so girls, boys, whoever is young, 20-year-olds, mind it and implement it. now let's a piece of advice have for our prospective students and who are looking forward to join the University of New Haven.
Joining the University of New Haven is one decision that you will never regret. It is a place in which that we focus on your own growth, your development when it comes on to life and readiness skills. It's a place where you will find that you will be transformed, not only in your thought process, but also in the diversity of friends that you will find. You will have lifelong friendship that you'll find here, but also the connection that you will have with faculty and staff to know that we care about every student and we never want a student to be left behind.
So with this, next time we'll see you on Igniting Minds, the Power of Knowledge. Till then, tata, bye-bye and namaste.
Okay.